Bon midi, ici Stevie Ray, bienvenue à cette présentation de Bâton Rouge Live, en direct du fameux restaurant de Lachenaie. Comme vous le savez, nous sommes disponibles sur Facebook, sur Quai Marina Flashback, et c'est une émission qui vous propose d'aller dans toutes les directions. Et encore aujourd'hui, une belle émission avec notre deuxième invité. Nous allons parler, entre autres, du mouvement J'achète un livre québécois. Nous serons donc en conversation avec notre chroniqueuse romancière Sylviane Thibault. Mais tout d'abord, pour ouvrir l'émission, mon premier invité, il a marqué l'histoire du sport au Québec, très connu dans le monde de la boxe, sa fiche est éloquente, ex-champion du monde WBO, 42 combats en carrière, 38 victoires, maintenant un enseignant dans son sport, but first and foremost, he's a real cool guy. Je vous présente Otis Grant. Là, je me trompe avec le baseball, Otis.
Je connais
bonne celui-là. Tu l'as déjà rencontré?
Oui, quand je vais pour l'Expose, oui.
How are you doing, Otis?
I'm doing very good.
Fine?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me over today.
That's my pleasure. Before we talk about your career, let's recap your younger years, because you were born in Jamaica.
Yep.
And you were moving here in Montreal at age 9 with your family.
Right.
Let's talk about this.
Okay, well,
why move?
Why move to Montreal? A lot
Yes.
of people, when you tell me you're from Jamaica, are like, why would you guys come to Canada, especially in the winter when it's
Yes.
cold? But you know, my mom had come over, and she was working. And then after she came over, my dad came, and then once they were both here and settled, they sent for me and my brother.
Okay, but
So,
they were both from Jamaica?
Yeah, they both immigrated from Jamaica.
Okay.
My mom first, then she sent for my dad, and then when my dad came and he was working, and they're both working, they sent for me and my brother to come join them in Jamaica. So while they were in Canada, my brother and I, we lived with our grandparents, my mother's parents.
Okay. Donc, il est né en Jamaïque, tout comme ses parents. Il est arrivé ici à 9 ans. Et puis, ça a été un ajustement, c'est sûr. Jusqu'à 9 ans, c'est pas facile. What about your first snow? You remember that?
I remember my first snow. And back in those days, too, it used to snow a lot. And like the snow removal, they used to dump the snow in front of the apartment building where we lived.
Okay.
So they used to make these big snow mountains. And we used to play like King of the Hill. You know, so to me, like, it was fun. It was the first time seeing snow, but after being here for so many years now, I've been here for over 40 years, and now the winter is not as fun as when it used to.
No, it's changing.
Yeah, and before, when you're young, you don't feel the cold. You know, now you're playing the cold, but now, like at this age, man, it's cold. I wish I'm not here in the winter time now.
Il nous raconte que sa première neige, c'est ce que je lui ai parlé, c'est tout un souvenir. Puis il jouait à ce qu'on appelle down the hill, comme nous avons tous fait étant jeunes, de descendre des collines de neige. I understand you have a nickname when you were young. It was Magic, because you have some abilities in other sports.
Yes.
Like basketball and baseball.
Yeah, basketball and baseball. I play football. I play basketball.
Okay.
But the nickname Magic, I still love Magic Johnson. When he was rookie, came into the league.
Was your favorite player?
Yeah, he was my favorite player, and I used to try to play like him and play. But so, my old coach Russ Amber, right? We used to play a lot of basketball, like as cross training. In between boxing, we play basketball in the parks in the summer. During the winter, I play as another form of training. And Russ didn't play basketball, so one summer I took him out to the parks and I was teaching him how to dribble the ball, how to shoot the ball. And he, if you ask him, he's gonna say he gave me that nickname Magic because I used to try to play like Magic Johnson. So he said, "Wow, it's just like Magic Johnson, you play like." So, but if you ask my brother Howard, there was another time we were much younger. We were playing touch football in the back of a high school near where we lived, and they handed me off the ball, and I grabbed it and I tucked it under my shirt, and I went backwards into the end zone, and nobody knew where the ball was.
So, that's good.
And then somebody said, "Oh, man, it's like Magic," and then my brother said, "That's how I got the name." So if you ask Russ, he's gonna say from me teaching him basketball. If you ask,
but that's
brother,
not true.
He was no, they're both okay. They both happen. So, but I've been called Magic now since I'm probably 11, 12 years old.
That's what I read.
They become me Magic. So it's a name that stuck to me. And,
étant jeune, Otis était bon dans tous les sports et il nous fait à la blague, je lui ai mentionné son surnom Magic en référence à Magic Johnson qui était son joueur favori. Et il dit que Ross Amber, son ancien coach, dit que c'est lui qui lui a donné ce nickname, ce surnom, mais Un autre aussi, son frère dit que c'est lui, donc on ne saura jamais la vérité. We'll never know.
mais je le nomme. Pour beaucoup d'années maintenant.
Let's talk about your career now. Why you chose boxing over the other sports?
You know, I chose boxing because like we were good at it. My brother and I, we started at the same time. We had success, and even though I was a very good basketball player, you know, before, by the time I was 14 years old, I'd won the junior national championships, and I was Canadian champion, and you know, so we were coming up. You know, won the Golden Gloves in Quebec. You represent Quebec at the nationals. You win the nationals when you're older. Then I was on the national senior team when I was 17 years old. So I had my best success in boxing. I knew that's the sport that I could go the furthest in. Because I was a good basketball player, but like there's so many good basketball players that I was just an average.
And you're not that tall also.
Yeah, I was an average basketball player, but I was an exceptional boxer.
What was your position in baseball?
In baseball, I played shortstop. I played the outfield sometimes.
A good arm?
I'm not sure about the arm, but like...
How's your batting?
My batting was better than my arm, I think.
Okay.
It was good. We used to do tournaments. Just do softball tournaments and baseball tournaments as fundraiser. Well, when we started the Otis Grant and Friends Foundation, some of the first tournaments and fundraising events that we did were softball tournaments at the park.
Let's talk now about your boxing career. 42 fights. You have any headaches?
No.
No results.
I was very
from
good.
Your long career.
I was very good on the defense. You know, I try not to take too many punches to the head.
That was a plan.
So yeah, but there's been a lot of guys that, you know, when you stay in the ring and you stay in the fight game for too long, they take too many shots. They become what they call, you know, punchy. So, you know, slur their words and they have difficulty speaking and stuff like that. So I'm very fortunate, I'll knock on wood, that wasn't the case here.
You consider yourself a lucky guy?
Yeah.
With all that happened?
Yeah, I am very lucky.
Yeah?
I think so.
That's good. Il se considère chanceux. Il a pas mal à la tête. Je lui ai demandé s'il avait des séquelles de tous ses combats. In 1988, you had a great start. You won the national title also in 91.
Yeah.
You lost in 94, but rebounded winning in 95. You were WBO champ in December 97.
Yeah.
And then you lost a 10-rounder to Roy Jones Jr. in 98.
Yeah, I lost. It was a 12-round fight. It was
12
a title
round?
fight, yeah, but Russ stopped it after the 10th round.
Okay.
Because I was getting beat. I wasn't going to knock this guy out. So they said, okay, call it the night. You know, said they didn't want me taking any more punishment. I got knocked down in the 10th round. And in the corner, I came back, sat down, he goes, okay, this is like, second time you've been on the floor, this guy is too good, you're not going to knock him out, and you need
Who was
to
your
knock out
corner
two
man?
men. Russ. Yeah, so like...
How do you feel when your corner man throws the towel?
Well, you know what, he explained...
That's the question I want to ask you.
Like, he explained it, like, he told me he wasn't going to leave me in there, he didn't want me to get hurt. But I was coming off probably the only round, or one of the only rounds of that fight that I won was the 9th round, so that was my best round. I was coming off that. And like
because of your physical condition?
It wasn't because of my physical condition. It was just, Roy was just so much better than his opposition. Yeah. And like I got that opportunity. I was middleweight champion and he was the light heavyweight champion. Yeah. So I moved up 2 weight classes to fight him for his title.
That's good.
So, you know, people thought I was gonna get killed because he was the best fighter in the world. And I'm moving up from middleweight, passing super middleweight, going to light heavyweight to fight Roy for his title. So all the boxing writers, experts, thought it was going to be a 1-round and 2-round fight, or a 2-round fight. I was going to get knocked out. So I think I fought too defensive of a fight, that fight. But
you did well.
I went 10 rounds. Yeah, I went 10 rounds with the best fighter in the world at the time.
Frankly, have you been at least once intimidated by an opponent?
No, I wasn't the guy that got intimidated that much. You know? And the more my opponent talked, like the more I would like say,
right,
okay, man,
I understand that.
You're gonna see.
You're gonna prove something.
Yeah, you're gonna show me. Yeah. But like, and that's where I think between me, my brother Howard was an excellent, top of the line fighter, like one of the world's best as an amateur. But where me and him differ in the pros is like, I think what you just like your opponent will talk. Will trash talk you, I'm gonna knock you out, you're gonna get killed, you're gonna leave your title here. And that would bother him. That would get to him, and then he'd freeze up. When me, I'd say, "Oh, really? Okay, come show me. I want you to show me what you're gonna do. You can talk outside the ring all you want, but when we're inside,
yeah, that's it.
That's when you're
gonna be man to man." Il nous explique que ça le motive beaucoup quand son adversaire parle beaucoup, disons à la Mohamed Ali, et que ça se règle dans le ring. Ever felt bad for an opponent you punished?
Not really. No, it's a sport. It's a game. You know, like it's one of the only sport where you'll see two guys in there trying to get the best
one on one,
and then at the end of the fight they hug, and it's not personal. So I never took.
There's a lot of respect in the noble heart.
100%. So I never took it personally. Just sometimes there's some guys that would talk. Then it was a pleasure for you to put a beating on them, you know. And then after the fight, they usually come back around and say, "Good fight," you know.
Who's the best you've ever faced who could take it all? In French, we say encaisseur. Who could take some punch and still be there, like a Rocky type of guy. Who's the best you've faced?
I fought a guy one time. He wasn't the best fighter that I faced, but he was probably the toughest fighter that I faced. His name was Dan Mitchell. I fought him in Hamilton at the Coliseum. He was from Pittsburgh. Black guy with bald head. Yeah. Probably Army guy. And I would hit this guy with my best shots. Boom, boom, boom. And I figured I'd try to knock him out. And there was nothing to do. He would look at me and say, "Man, my grandmother hits me harder than that." So, like that guy, I had to give it to him. Like I would try to kill him, and he would just say crazy. Hey,
what's his name?
His name was Dan Mitchell.
Dan Mitchell, c'est je lui ai demandé lequel qui était le plus bon encaisseur qu'il a affronté. Puis ce type, il avait beau manger des coups, il lui répétait, "Ma grand-mère frappe plus fort que toi." Is boxing a question of self-confidence first?
Well, you have to have confidence in yourself.
You have to be cocky.
You don't have to be cocky, because I wasn't cocky, but you have to be confident. To me, there's a difference between being confident and cocky. Cocky is when
you're not arrogant.
When you're arrogant, you're more cocky, and I wasn't that guy. I was very humble, and I was confident.
You don't have to be like Muhammad Ali. To be good.
No, but a lot of guys today still try to be like Muhammad Ali, but there's only one Muhammad Ali.
That's it. What's the qualities to be a good boxer?
I think
2 or 3 words.
I think dedication, hard work, and perseverance. You know, not giving up.
La persévérance, le travail pour faire un bon boxeur.
100%. I think those are the 3 top.
And what's the difference between a very good and a champion?
Well, you know, a champion.
There's a slight difference, but what is it?
I think that that's a very good question. I think being very good is a guy that will go in there and he'll compete and be competitive fight.
Like Rocky.
Yeah, with anybody and everybody, right? But I think where that differs from a champion won't settle for being a champion. Like
there's only one goal.
Yeah, when you win the title, like that could be a goal to win the title. But after winning that championship, that's when the work starts. So if you have the mentality of, okay, I won the title, I'm the champion, I don't have to do anything else, you're not going to have that title for very long. If you have the mentality that, hey, I just won the world title, and now I'm the top dog, and now everybody else is coming after me, that's when the work starts. That's when you have to even work 2 times, 3 times, 4 times as hard to maintain and hold on to that title as opposed to what you did trying to get there. Yeah, so I think that's the difference.
That's my way of thinking in what I do. Winning is all.
Yeah, you win it all.
Il nous explique, je lui demande c'est quoi la différence entre un bon boxeur et un champion. Il dit le champion n'a qu'une idée en tête, c'est remporter. You need to be a violent person to practice boxing?
No,
no,
I don't think so.
No,
and like if you approach the game the way it's supposed to be approached, like it's a noble sport. It's one of the
with respect.
Yeah. It's probably one of the best sports in the world when the 2 guys are out there trying to kill each other, and then at the end of the fight they hug and they say great luck, good luck, continued success in your future whether you win or lose. But that's what the sport's supposed to be. But these guys that try to be violent and try to stalk you and I want to kill you, and like, you know, it's also a way of them trying to like maybe give them self-confidence.
Yeah, that's it.
And not
like
showing
that.
that they are afraid. And that's how they try to like show you that like, hey, by talking a lot of garbage. But
you did some martial arts?
No, I never did in martial arts.
Okay,
actually, there was a guy named Jean Picard. He was a legendary Quebec martial artist.
You remember Jean-Yves Thériault?
Yeah, sure, I know Jean Thériault. I used to train with him when I was a kid too.
Okay.
But Jean Picard used to train, he was a judo guy. So when we were kids, he used to come to the gym with us, and some of his judo guys used to have them do some boxing. And he used to teach us a little bit of judo from time to time. But I've never formally done any martial arts.
Before we take a pause, your best satisfaction, world title or your return in the ring in 2004?
You know, I think it was the world title. They're both very high on that list of my best accomplishments in the sport. But you know, when you turn pro and your dream is to become a world champion, and you put all your goals, all your efforts, all your energies toward moving towards that goal, and then when
it's very gratifying
when you accomplish it, very much so. The comeback after the car accident was also very gratifying, because the doctor told me I would never fight again. I'd be lucky to be a recreational athlete again. And not only did I come back, but I fought I won 7 of 8 fights.
Okay, yes, I know.
And I became the #1 ranked contender in the world in my division. The only thing that I didn't accomplish on my comeback was having the opportunity to fight for
but you were
#1
contender.
Yeah.
Okay, before we talk about a sad day in 1999. I'll make a pause, I'll make a little publicity. Vous êtes amateur de chasse et de pêche, l'endroit pour vous, c'est Performance Chasse et Pêche, un endroit qui porte bien son nom, situé au 303 Notre-Dame à Repentigny. Une entreprise, comme je vous le dis, qui existe déjà depuis un certain temps, 23 ans d'expérience, un très beau magasin, une bonne réputation. C'est tout simplement numéro 1 de la Rive-Nord quand on parle de chasse et de pêche. Allez voir François, le propriétaire et le gérant, pour des conseils et des batteries au 303 Notre-Dame à Repentigny. Le numéro de téléphone dans le 450, c'est le 582-9302. Performance Chasse et Pêche, là où la passion se vit à chaque saison. In 99, you had the near fatal car accident. Your physical condition, as I understand, saved you. Tell us what happened that changed your whole life that day in 1999.
Well, what happened
about the car accident you had?
The car accident. I hadn't fought in Montreal in like many years. I was signed to an American promoter.
Okay.
So my contract was coming to an end, and I think it was Interbox at the time. Yvonne Michel was the GM at Interbox, and I wanted to come home and just test the market, because I wanted to sign one more contract from a couple of years before retiring, and I wanted to do that contract at home. So I wanted to test the market here to see if I had a following here before either re-signing with the American promoter or signing at home.
Was it in winter?
It was in summer. It was in June.
Oh, okay.
June 10th, 1999. And what happened was I went to a meeting up north in Saint Adele, or Saint Sauveur, somewhere there.
Okay.
With
Saint Sauveur.
With Yvonne Michel.
Okay.
And my manager was Russ, my trainer manager. A couple of us, and I had my daughter with me. And her Cuvelos was another fighter that used to train with me at the time. And on our way home from that meeting, just working the details and trying to get my promoter in US to give Yvonne Michel like a release to have me fight at home. That was the meeting that we had. And on the way home, coming back on the 15th, coming south, just forgot to Saint Jerome, and I was coming up the hill, and all of a sudden there's a car in front of me and coming straight at me, and I couldn't take the head-on collision because I had a passenger and I had my daughter on the passenger side. So instead of me taking a head-on collision, I swerved the car and I took the impact on the driver's side, and I had all this scar that I broke 5 ribs, I punctured my lung, and I ended up in hospital for a month. And I was in
coma?
St. Jerome Hospital. I was in a coma for the first, I think, 7 or 10 days or something, first week.
So you're a survivor.
I was lucky. It wasn't my time. There was still work to be done. I think I got spared because of that. Like after that accident, when I came to the hospital, I had a food program. I asked them to loan my name because I got so much publicity from the accident. Yes. They asked me in my name. They asked me to loan my name to a food drive. They're feeding the community, but they're having a hard time that year bringing in stuff. And I had some friends in that business, Taleb and Simon Fruit, so I went to him and in 3 weeks he brought me 10 tons of stuff for the food drive. And
that's good.
And that's how we started the foundation. Instead of us helping that one group, we help as many people as we could. And if I didn't have that accident, I don't think I'd ever had started that.
That's the way of seeing things.
That's what I look at.
Now you're a trainer helping people grow. What's the biggest difference between Otis Grant before and after the car accident? Let's say spiritually.
Spiritually,
you're a better man?
I was always...
Because you've never been arrogant.
I was always very spiritual. I grew up in a Christian household. Like my grandparents, they were Christians. Went to church on Sundays, that kind of stuff. So I was never far from the church or far from God. I think I was closer back then than I am actually today, right now. But I think the biggest difference from before the accident to now is that accident showed me that I could use my name to make a difference in my community. So I went from just being an athlete and a good guy to being an athlete and also a community person that helps out and gives back to the community.
J'ai demandé à Otis c'est quoi la différence entre lui avant et après son accident en 99. Il dit qu'il a toujours été spirituel, mais qu'il s'est rendu compte qu'avec son nom, il pouvait aider beaucoup de gens, spécialement pour avoir des denrées, etc. Describe how was your feeling being back to the ring 4 years after that day? The first 5 minutes, let's say.
When I agreed to come back with Michelle, within a box, was in a box at the time, I told him, I said, listen, I want a real comeback, a real comeback, because like I had been world champion and I didn't want to fight. You could always find some tomato, some guy that's you're gonna hit him.
Un jambon.
So, yeah, exactly. I didn't want a jambon on my comeback. Right?
You don't like jambon?
I like jambon, but I didn't want to fight.
Okay, I thought he was Muslim.
No, but really, so I told him, listen, I want to know. I signed, it was I think a 5-fight or a 6-fight deal. I don't remember what it was specifically. But I knew that right away I wanted to be tested because I wanted to know right away whether I made the right decision to come back or not.
Good.
So my first fight was against a guy that was ranked, I think, top 15 or top 18 in the world. So I knew if I would beat that guy, then like I have an opportunity. And I beat him, and then the next guy I fought, I think he was ranked number 13 in the world and number 9 in the world, and then. So if you were ranked ahead of me, I was gunning for you, and then I had the opportunity to fight for the WBC international title against Henry Porras at the Casino de Montreal.
Okay, yes.
And I won. I won that title. It was a major title. I won it, and it put me up to #1 ranked guy by the WBC.
Any regrets after all those years in boxing?
I try not to look at my career and have regrets. I think I did the best I could with what I had.
You had a great career.
Regrets right now, the fighters get paid a lot more than they did back when I fought, and I think like television, like the big television, like HBO, Showtime. HBO was always involved with boxing, but like now I didn't get an opportunity to be on one of the main stages, one of the main platforms where your fights would have been a lot more lucrative. So
before we enter the storm of questions with short answers, what's the ultimate advice to young boxers out there who think they have it?
Well, my ultimate advice to young fighters, I always try to get the guys that we work with to secure your future away from the ring. Like don't put all your eggs in the box.
Go to school.
Yeah. Go to school, get an education.
Have a job.
Be employable or have the skills. So like, you don't be able to box for very long. And even like you retire like in your 30s or whatever, you still have a lot of life to live. So I always try to get my guys and the kids that come through the amateur program to stay in school, get a trade, go to college, go to Caesar University, and secure your future away from boxing.
J'ai demandé à Otis son conseil ultime pour les jeunes boxeurs qui croient pouvoir faire carrière. Il dit ne pas mettre tous les œufs dans le même panier, c'est-à-dire travailler, aller à l'école, très important, parce que vous ne savez jamais dans ce métier-là. We'll go in that's what I call the storm of questions, very short answers. Most difficult in sports, winning a first title or staying on top?
I think it's always staying on top.
That's what I think. Like the New York Yankees, year after year.
Yeah, because when you're really top dog, everybody's going after you, so it's hard to stay there.
You've been one of the top boxers of your era. At what moment in your career you told yourself, "That's it, I'm with the best ones out there"? Was there a fight that makes you self-confident more?
I think it was, I went to England and I won the world title in my opponent's hometown, and like today you don't see that. Like guys don't go on the road. Like the guys that fight world titles, they usually have the support of their home audience and all that, and fighting at home.
Okay.
So I think that fight had proved to me that I could go on the road, I could fight some of the top guys in the world and beat them right where they're from. And I think it was after winning that fight, I said to myself, it might have been a quiet moment, but probably a day or two after, it's like, shit, like you're actually champion of the world. Like,
that's good.
No time to relax now. Like, this is when the work starts. And so that's why, in my opinion, it's a lot harder to hold on to the title as opposed to winning. You win, you can get lucky if you have a good decision one day, have a good night, but like to do that consistently, I think that's what I believe.
In one or two words, in a more and more non-violent society, in 100 years, people will still pay to see two persons trying to knock out one another.
I think so.
Yes, because human is human?
I think so. I think it's just human nature,
That's what I thought.
It's something that's been around forever. And look at UFC today. That's more popular than boxing, actually.
Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson?
Muhammad Ali.
What about the so-called return of Mike Tyson at age 53? You take it seriously, or it's for money, for sure, but you think he could still be a good boxer?
I saw some clips of him training. He looks good, but like I don't think you can compete with guys today. Like he's been out too long. He's like 53, 54 years old. Like I heard,
and he wasn't in shape.
Yeah, I heard they were trying to get him to do a wrestling match in WWE. that he could do.
Okay.
But
with his name, it's gonna be good.
For him to come back and fight one of the top guys out there right now, I don't think he should go that direction. I hear that Shark Week. I saw Shark Week on television.
Yes.
He's going to be fighting a shark.
Oh, that's good.
Something like that.
That's fine.
So he can do stuff like that, and he'll
it.
be okay. But he shouldn't come back to the boxing ring.
In one or two sentences, what's the future of boxing, especially here in Quebec?
Like if you'd asked me this question like a couple of months ago, I would say that the future of boxing was very bright, especially in Quebec. Quebec's always been the hotbed of boxing in Canada.
Yes.
Always had the best fighters come from Quebec. Had the guys that won the titles and that.
The best in Quebec you've seen?
The best in Quebec that I've seen? Man, that's a tough question. I've been around boxing in Quebec.
Fernand Marcotte?
No, I don't think so. Fernand Marcotte.
Not Gaetan Hart?
Gaetan Hart was a hell of a fighter. So was Fernand Marcotte. But I say the best Quebecois fighter that I've seen or been around, I know that like Mario Couson, I used to train Mario, so I liked him a lot. Fernand Marcotte, Gaetan Hart, like Jean-Paul Patrin, these guys from home. When I was a kid, I used to watch them fight, But like Quebec has always been great for boxing. And then later on, when guys like the Hiltons, David Hilton was a hell of a fighter. David Hilton was a great fighter. Matthew Hilton, Alex Hilton, the Hilton brothers. Like, so it's a long list. And then Adonis Stevenson, John Pascal, all these guys.
One name.
Yeah.
Just one name. Your idol growing up. You're going to say Muhammad Ali?
Marvin Hagler.
Oh, I like that. Your kind of music?
I listen to reggae music because it's from the country that I'm from. And I also listen to some hip-hop
Bob Marley?
R&B. Bob Marley, yeah.
What was your favorite food before a fight?
Used to be we used to carb up because we used to cut weight, so it'd be like pasta or just a pasta bolognese with meat sauce would be like my pre-fight meal.
So the best of all time is?
Muhammad Ali.
Yes?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he was great. There's only one guy like him, there won't be another one. Like he did a lot
that's
for
for
the
sure.
sport. Inside the ring, outside the ring, he did a lot for people also. But he was a great fighter.
Your favorite fight as a spectator on site you've seen?
Marvin Hagler versus Thomas Hearns.
You were there?
No, I wasn't there, but it's for the fight that I've seen. On site that I've seen, actually there was a fight that we were involved with, so I was right in the corner. It was Francis Lafreniere and Renal Saint-Just at the Bell Center like a few years ago. It was it was on an HBO card, and HBO had that as the fight of the night. And I think in the world of boxing that year, it was the number 5 most exciting fight.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
A word about Arturo Gatti.
Arturo was my friend. Like I would see him once in a while, but he was a great fighter too. Like just a shame what happened with him.
Well, we don't want to go back there. What happened?
But he was a good guy. He was a great guy to be around.
It was tough.
And he loved life too. He loved to party and loved to have a good time. So.
And what about Sugar Ray Leonard?
Yeah, he was one of the best.
He's a Muhammad Ali type guy.
Yeah. During his era, he was he was one of the best in his era. For sure.
Last question. You're doing well.
Yeah.
At what age we can see the competition temper in a person?
I think it depends on the individual. Like we have kids coming to the gym. Some of them are like, you could see 6 years old, 7 years old. I have like trainers.
And already they're...
you can see, and then you might have some kids that are 12, 13 years old and they're so shy and timid that, so it depends on the individual. I can't say the age because it changes from one individual to another.
To wrap this up, my friend Otis, let's talk about your gym. You could give the address and phone number.
Okay.
To, like we say in French, to plugger. Plugger la place. What's the address and what you're doing there? We can see you there as a trainer.
Yeah, it's 2101 Route Transcanadienne.
2101 la route transcanadienne pour aller au gym.
We're upstairs in the Monster Gym, which is a bigger gym.
The Monster Gym.
Yeah. And
what's the phone number?
514-421-1459. You could find us online at www.grantbrothersboxing.com, and also you could have everything at Grant Brothers Boxing on social media, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Thanks. It was my pleasure, Otis.
Right.
See you again, I hope. I wish you luck in everything that you do, you and your family.
Thank you so
much. And
much.
your son there, Andrew, a football player.
So
thank you very much, Otis.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Maintenant, je vous rappelle, nous sommes en direct du fameux restaurant de Lachenaie, le Bâton Rouge, l'endroit imbattable quand on parle de bon repas, une atmosphère chaleureuse, rien de mieux qu'un délicieux steak cuit à votre goût. Mais n'oubliez pas, il n'y a pas que le steak ici, le menu est complet, c'est un restaurant de choix situé au 1400 rue Yves Blais à Terrebonne. Et pour les réservations dans le 450, c'est le 581-1888, le Bâton Rouge de Lachenaie. Maintenant, sur une note un peu plus sérieuse, vous serez traité avec beaucoup d'écoute et de compréhension si vous vivez une infestation. Et vous aurez compris ici qu'on parle de bibite. Et plus vous attendez, plus le problème va s'aggraver. Ça, c'est la clé. Il faut appeler. Et la solution, c'est Rive-Nord Extermination. 35 ans d'expérience. Une entreprise familiale très sérieuse. Un service personnalisé. Numéro de téléphone dans le 450 pour la solution. C'est le 582-6706. Rive-Nord Extermination. Vous le savez aussi, il y a une autre émission qui devrait recommencer, mais en studio malheureusement, puisque la marina n'est pas encore ouverte complètement, seulement partiellement le vendredi, samedi et dimanche. Vous avez la terrasse avec un menu terrasse, une splendide vue sur le fleuve. On espère un retour pour la marina parce que ça nous manque. La variété musicale, sa piste de danse, la nourriture, le personnel, mais ça s'en vient. Comme je vous le dis, vendredi, samedi et dimanche, la marina de Repentigny, c'est ouvert pour la terrasse. Et c'est ça pour l'instant, mais qu'est-ce que vous voulez? Ça s'en vient, donc Quai Marina Live reprendra l'antenne d'ici quelques semaines, mais en studio. Maintenant, ma deuxième invitée, elle vient nous expliquer le mouvement J'achète un livre québécois et non pas J'achète.
Non, pas J'achète.
Nous présenter aussi quelques suggestions de lecture. C'est une véritable femme de lettres, notre chroniqueuse et romancière accomplie. La toujours de bonne humeur et souriante Sylviane Thibault. Bonjour Sylviane.
Salut.
Je voudrais te demander comment ça va, mais on a toujours l'impression que tu vas bien.
Ben ça va bien, on s'arrange pour aller bien. C'est déjà assez difficile comme époque.
Là,
je me dis, on n'en rajoutera pas par-dessus.
Oui, ben c'est ça, avec tout ce qui se passe, là.
Voir les choses positivement,
il faut parfois décrocher des nouvelles parce que ça peut devenir aliénant.
Oui.
Tu nous apportes des suggestions de titres de lecture québécoise avant qu'on parle du mouvement J'achète un livre québécois et je lis bleu. Et le premier livre que tu amènes m'intéresse beaucoup, c'est Derek Aucoin, La tête haute, qui a subi une intervention suite à son cancer du cerveau.
Oui, exactement. Et d'ailleurs, on voit la cicatrice. Magnifique photo, magnifique couverture. Il n'y a pas plus vrai en ce qui me concerne, justement. Aujourd'hui, je suis dans les faits vécus, en fait.
OK,
donc
c'est intéressant.
Oui, dans les livres que je vais présenter. Donc, dans le cas de Derek Aucoin, pour ceux qui ne le connaissent pas, c'est un ancien joueur de baseball.
6 pieds 8, 6 pieds 9.
Autour de ça, peut-être 6 et 7, mon Dieu.
Oui.
On rendu là.
Ça dépend s'il porte des talons cette journée-là.
C'est ça, comment il file cette journée-là. Oui, alors c'était dans tous les sens du mot un très grand lanceur. Donc, Derek, qui avait un rêve, c'était de jouer pour les ligues majeures. Et c'est une rencontre.
Ça s'est réalisé. Moi, je me rappelle, j'étais devant le petit écran lors de son premier départ avec les expos.
Oui, exactement. Est-ce que tu te souviens contre qui? Si je ne m'abuse, c'était.
Ben là, il faut que tu sois certaine.
San Francisco.
Ah, ben je me rappelais pas, je pensais que c'était San Diego.
Ah, ben tu vois.
Tu m'as eu. Tu m'as eu.
Mais de toute façon, lisez, vous saurez la vraie réponse. Dans le fond, là, c'est qu'on ouvre la porte pour que les gens puissent le lire parce que, donc, évidemment...
Ben, il y a une leçon sur le plan humain à retirer de tout ça. C'est pas juste une question de talent et de percer dans les majeurs.
Non, exactement. Écoute, c'est la persévérance, c'est de rêver, c'est de croire en soi. Et c'est d'apprécier ce qui nous arrive et ce qui est surprenant, ben justement, parce que Derek fait face au plus gros combat de sa vie. On vient de parler de combat avec Otis Grant. C'est autre chose, écoute.
Oui, parce que tu luttes pour ta survie, c'est pas la même chose.
Non, mais
et c'est une maladie qui apparaît d'une façon sournoise, inattendue. Ça vient vraiment chambarder une vie. Maintenant, tu nous amènes un deuxième livre, une deuxième suggestion, un peu plus sérieuse. Ben, plus sérieux, ça c'est sérieux. Mais je veux dire, c'est plus un roman, La Plume Rouge.
La Plume Rouge, Angèle Delaunoy. Angèle Delaunoy est une auteure et éditrice québécoise. Elle a fait énormément. Jusqu'à maintenant, c'était dans la littérature jeunesse.
Okay.
Donc, beaucoup de documentaires, de vulgarisation, Le Grand Voyage de Monsieur Caca, entre autres. Et oui, très rapide, de Monsieur Caca, qui explique aux enfants les fonctions, mais d'une façon extraordinaire. Elle a remporté des prix. Alors, sa première incursion dans la littérature destinée à un public adulte, on a La Plume Rouge, qui est l'histoire en 1541 de Robert Val. Il s'en venait ici. Elle est embarquée, elle embarque sur un bateau, Catherine, sa cousine, et puis finalement, le cousin, frustré et choqué, on a parlé de la condition des femmes, qu'elle l'ait refusée, la débarque sur une île déserte qu'on appelle, si on fait des recherches, c'est aujourd'hui l'île des démons. Imagine.
On ne va pas aller habiter là.
Non, mais elle, alors qu'elle était promise finalement à une mort certaine et non plus promise au capitaine de Robert Val, a réussi à survivre. Alors, le mythe de la femme faible est bel et bien un mythe. Alors, lisez cette histoire qui est prenante, qui est extrêmement bien écrite, encore une fois, par une auteure qui n'a pas besoin de faire ses preuves.
C'est bon.
Maintenant.
Comme toi. Maintenant, La Dalle des morts. Ça semble un peu sombre.
C'est un peu sombre, en fait, ça représente une période sombre un peu ici au Québec. Quand les curés, certains curés, pas tous, mais certains curés avaient la main mise sur tout.
Parce qu'il y a beaucoup de femmes, il faut le dire, il y a 400 ou 500 ans, qui ne voulaient pas coucher avec le prêtre ou le curé, qui se sont fait taxés d'être des sorcières et qui terminaient leur vie sur un bûcher.
Absolument. Entre autres, et on parle, il y a eu des scandales. Encore aujourd'hui, on parle des sœurs qui auraient été abusées, agressées par des prêtres, et on cache tout ça. Mais ici, c'était attends un petit peu. Donc, c'est dans les cantons, pas dans les cantons de l'Est, en Outaouais, en fait. Et c'est Daniel Lessard qui a écrit ça. C'est le journaliste
oui, que je connais,
de Radio-Canada.
Oui,
donc,
bon.
on le connaît comme... Oui, exactement.
Chevronnier.
Oui. Alors, il n'y en est pas à son premier roman. La Dalle des Morts, c'est une chicane, c'est-à-dire entre le curé et ses paroissiens. Le curé veut déplacer, créer un autre cimetière, mais là où ça se fait, c'est que c'est des terrains inondables.
Non.
Et à l'époque, les gens ne voulaient pas, parce que c'était une question de respect des morts, de leurs morts. Finalement, ils ne voulaient pas imaginer leur mari, leurs enfants. C'est noir, baigné dans l'eau stagnante. Alors, ça part fort avec, on déplace un cadavre au début, donc il faut lire là-dedans. Et on décrit le curé là-dedans.
Tu es sombre aujourd'hui.
Je suis sombre. Non, mais je vais m'en aller du côté clair.
Oui, parce que tu vas bien te reprendre avec Billy Stuart.
Oui, ben oui, on s'en va du côté.
Ça, c'est plus léger.
C'est plus léger. Je voulais aller dans la littérature jeunesse. Okay. Alors, on a Billy Stuart, qui est un petit raton laveur, donc, et qui est créé, c'est un personnage qui est créé par l'auteur Alain M. Bergeron, et qui est probablement l'auteur le plus connu et le plus prolifique au Québec.
Ah oui?
Donc, Alain...
Lui, il en a écrit plus que 23.
On approche les 300 publications. Dans le cas des fois, on fait des blagues. C'est une machine. Alain, on ne sait pas comment tu fais.
C'est plus de 10 fois ce que tu as écrit.
Oui, exactement.
Mais quel âge qu'il a, 103 ans?
Non, il est encore jeune. Il est encore un peu plus vieux que moi, je l'admets, mais il est encore jeune,
Okay.
Alors, Alain, Billy Stuart, qui est très, très connu pour les jeunes de 9 ans, alors il a amené le petit Billy Stuart. Alors, pour ceux-là, les plus jeunes, là, qui ont des frères et des sœurs qui connaissent Billy Stuart et toutes ses aventures, on a les aventures du petit Billy quand il était plus petit. C'est tout mignon, avec Froufrou, la bonne femme Froufrou et Froufrou a peur de l'orage. Un petit secret, c'est l'auteur qui se raconte un peu, si on veut, parce qu'il n'aime pas, d'après ce que j'en sais, les orages. Entre toi et moi non plus.
Ben oui.
Je déteste ça.
Le temps nous bouscule. Tu veux me donner les livres?
Bien sûr.
Le temps nous bouscule. J'aimerais qu'on parle de la journée J'achète un livre québécois qui se tiendra le 12 août prochain, qui est un mercredi.
Oui.
Avant de faire une petite leçon de français.
Oui.
Parle-nous de cette journée consacrée à la littérature québécoise et aussi nous dire pourquoi tu trouves que parfois on pourrait faire mieux à ce niveau-là.
Ben justement, c'est qu'on pourrait faire mieux pour découvrir les auteurs encore. Ça, je l'ai déjà dit. C'est que de ne pas toujours se fier au meilleur vendeur. C'est sûr que le meilleur vendeur devient meilleur vendeur parce qu'il est vu. Parce qu'il est vu, il est lu, parce qu'il est lu, Alors, on embarque dans ce fameux cercle-là. Il y a tellement de beaux trésors à découvrir. Et pour ça, on va voir notre librairie, notre libraire, j'en suis une d'ailleurs, et ça va me faire plaisir de vous faire découvrir des nouveaux auteurs, des nouvelles publications. Et le 12 août, j'achète un livre québécois. C'était justement, ça a été parti il y a quelques années, et c'est pour encourager...
Et il y a des auteurs sur place,
et dans
si tu veux faire autographier tes volumes.
Oui, dans plusieurs librairies, dont celle où je suis, qui est Acheter, Espace Papier à Sainte-Marthe-sur-le-Lac.
Okay.
Alors, il y aura moi-même.
Mais il y a plusieurs...
librairies dans toute la région.
Il
y en a plusieurs.
Mais c'est seulement Acheter.
Non, en fait, dans toutes les librairies.
Ah, c'est le fun, ça, c'est bien.
Oui, alors dans les Renaud-Bré, dans les... Oui, des librairies indépendantes aussi.
Le 12 août, très important, toute la journée.
Toute la journée, c'est le 12 août. Évidemment, on aimerait que ce soit à l'année longue, mais cette journée-là...
Ben, ça aide à sensibiliser.
Oui, exactement. Déplacez-vous, allez en librairie, allez vous procurer des romans québécois.
Ben oui.
Et on sera 4, nous, à signer cette journée-là. Donc, oui.
Avant la petite leçon de français, je vais faire une petite annonce. Quand vous avez les vieux systèmes de son, vous ne savez pas où aller pour faire un retour dans le temps et être servi avec beaucoup de courtoisie et de professionnalisme. Vous allez penser que vous êtes en 89 ou en 95. Je vous recommande fortement le centre de liquidation audio usagé. On aime bien dire vintage. C'est très propre et beaucoup d'équipements sur place de qualité. Que ce soit résidentiel, commercial, vous ouvrez un bar, un restaurant, une boutique, c'est l'endroit pour vous. C'est vraiment surprenant ce que vous trouverez sur place et c'est pas tellement difficile à trouver. C'est situé dans le complexe de la Marina de Repentigny au 358 Notre-Dame. Les réparations sont faites sur place. Le numéro de téléphone dans le 450, c'est le 654-68-49. N'oubliez pas les 3 mots très importants, spécialement lorsque nous étions en confinement. Comment ça va? Vous allez avoir 2 réponses. Qui sont vos vrais amis? Vous allez semer un brin de joie et d'optimisme dans le cœur des gens que vous appelez. C'est très important. Comment ça va? Ta leçon de français cette semaine, on en a parlé un petit peu avant. Je vais te laisser le punch parce que celle-là, on l'entend et on l'entend avec le T qui n'existe pas.
Exactement. Bien, justement, le 12 août prochain,
oui,
j'achète un livre québécois. Beaucoup m'ont dit ça va être plaisant. Non.
Mais il est où le T? C'est ça.
Il n'y a pas de T.
C'est beau faire une liaison, mais en tout cas, faut-il qu'il y ait un T en quelque part?
Alors, il n'y a pas de T là-dedans. Oui. Parce que c'est encore une fois cela, troisième personne.
Mais c'est pas facile.
C'est pas facile.
C'est pas toujours facile.
Mais on enlève le ça va être, cela va être ou ce sera, si vous n'êtes pas sûr. Mais ça va être, non, ça va être pas.
Moi, je pensais à une qu'on entend fréquemment dans le monde du sport. La bonne façon de le dire, disons, j'étais enthousiaste. Et tu vas entendre, j'étais enthousiasme.
Exact.
Ben, la faute n'est pas si grave que ça. On comprend ce que tu veux dire, mais je veux dire, tu n'es pas l'enthousiasme incarné. Je veux dire, tu es enthousiasme, le qualificatif et non pas le terme.
L'adjectif et non pas le nom.
En aurais-tu une autre?
Ben oui. Oui,
ah, oui
pas plus tard que cette semaine.
Ouais.
J'entends dans un commerce, on vous a-tu répondu?
Ah oui!
On vous a-tu répondu?
Tu m'as raconté ça, c'est bon ça.
Est-ce qu'on vous a répondu? Et non pas non plus, on vous a-tu répondu?
Ben oui.
Avez-vous été répondu? Non, on n'a pas été répondu, on m'a répondu.
Ben, je vais te relancer avec une pile.
Ah, OK.
Justement, ça va être la journée du livre. Je m'ai acheté un livre.
Je m'ai acheté, oui. Oui, je me suis acheté.
Ça commencerait mal une date, ça? Entendre ça?
Ah, moi, je vais faire comme si je t'avais pas entendu.
Bon, c'est bien ça. Si tu veux faire un rappel sur la journée du 12 août en terminant et donner l'adresse d'où tu travailles aussi, même si c'est à Mirabel, mais toutes les librairies Hamster et toutes les autres aussi.
Oui.
Mais si tu veux faire un rappel, qu'est-ce qui se passe le 12 août, ce mercredi?
Alors, le 12 août, encore une fois, c'est J'achète un livre québécois. Présentez-vous dans les librairies autour de chez vous. Vous allez voir des livres québécois mis en évidence. Il y aura sans doute, pour les chanceux, des auteurs qui seront présents pour vous rencontrer, dédicacer leurs livres. Et pour ce qui est de Hamster, c'est à Sainte-Marthe-sur-le-Lac, sur le boulevard des Promenades. Donc, c'est 2801 boulevard des Promenades.
C'est là que tu seras le 12.
Oui, le 12 en après-midi, je serai là. Il y aura Roxane Turcotte, qui est une auteure excellente pour les enfants. Madame Sylvie Payette.
Et la fille.
Exactement.
De Feu.
De Feu Lise Payette. Et pour terminer, un auteur de Sainte-Marc avec un roman, M. Yves Plouffe, avec un roman policier. Donc, pour les adultes. Venez nous voir, ça nous fait plaisir.
Mais toi, tu es comme un poisson dans l'eau lors de cette journée.
Oui.
Toi qui, je le répète aux gens, qui a écrit 23 romans.
Oui.
Je veux dire, c'est pas tout le monde qui peut se targuer de
je suis pas à 300, mais écoute.
Ben 23, ça commence, je trouve que déjà juste un, ce serait beau.
C'est déjà très bien.
Ben, merci Sylviane, toujours aussi intéressante, puis à une prochaine chronique. Maintenant, je vous parle d'un de nos partenaires ici, soit Samoto, situé au 1133 Notre-Dame à Repentigny, un garage dont la réputation n'est vraiment plus à refaire. La confiance règne, le travail est bien fait, c'est le respect du client en premier. Beaucoup d'explications sont données sur place, de longues années d'expérience vous attendent. Moi, j'aime bien dire que ce sont les tops de la mécanique. Samoto, situé au 1133 Notre-Dame. Maintenant, je vous parle également d'un autre de nos partenaires ici, soit la zone vêtements de sport et classiques, qui est située au 148 Notre-Dame à Repentigny. Beaucoup de marques de choix au meilleur prix sur place. Je vous en nomme quelques-unes, soit Labella Mafia, Gorilla Wear, Rider Wear, Better Body, Gasp et les bottes d'entraînement Automix, hommes et femmes, sont disponibles sur place. Je vous donne le numéro de téléphone dans le 450, c'est le 654-1113, 654-1113. Maintenant, vous le savez, nous sommes affiliés à un club de baseball puisque la Ligue de baseball junior élite du Québec les reprise des activités il y a 2 semaines. C'est recommencé enfin. Le club local, pour nous ici, c'est le Royal de Repentigny. Et hier, une belle victoire. Ils recevaient les Bisons de Saint-Eustache. Victoire in extremis de 2-1 lors de leur dernière présence au bâton. On va souhaiter bonne chance à Danny Pratard. Nous avons une très bonne équipe avec le Royal qui reprend, Danny qui reprend les guides de l'équipe après une absence. C'est une organisation de premier plan, autant sur le terrain qu'au niveau du 2e étage, comme on dirait dans le domaine du hockey. Maintenant, la fiche du Royal, c'est 3 victoires, 1 défaite. Se sont bien repris de cette défaite difficile dimanche soir au Parc Champigny, alors qu'on a perdu contre les Pirates de Laval. Après avoir gagné au Parc Champigny 2-1 contre les Orioles de Montréal et avoir remporté leur premier match mercredi, le 15 juillet, sur la route. C'était une brillante victoire à Saint-Eustache de 6-2 dans le match numéro 1. Donc, bonne chance au Royal. Maintenant, vous êtes déprimé ou quelque chose ne tourne pas rond normal avec le rythme de la vie et le coronavirus que nous vivons. La clinique de psychologue de Repentigny peut vous aider. D'excellents psychologues ou thérapeutes en relation d'aide vous attendent. Maintenant, le service de téléconsultation en ligne est disponible et nous répondons dans les meilleurs délais avec nos professionnels en santé mentale. Premier rendez-vous sur le site clinique de psychologue dans la section téléconsultation. Besoin d'écoute et de parler. Conflit de travail, difficultés à la maison, un deuil difficile. La gestion du stress et des émotions, ce sont des situations que nous allons tous vivre un jour ou l'autre. Et n'oubliez pas, consulter ne veut pas dire maladie mentale. Ça, c'est un préjugé. C'est un mauvais préjugé parce que ça arrive à tout le monde de ne pas bien se sentir. Donc, vous êtes à bout de souffle et désirez reprendre votre mieux-être en main. La clinique de psychologue de Repentigny, située au 293-293 boulevard Lacombe, c'est pour vous. Dans le 514, c'est le 813-2986. En terminant, un autre de nos partenaires très important ici que je veux saluer, le Centre d'imagerie Pixel, celui que l'on considère comme l'incontournable et pour cause. C'est situé en face de la Marina de Repentigny au 351 Notre-Dame, un service varié très professionnel. L'incontournable Pixel, le numéro de téléphone dans le 450, c'est le 654-99-44. En terminant, qu'on soit d'accord ou pas avec le masque à porter un peu partout, oui, c'est fatigant, on n'aime pas ça, mais il faut être discipliné parce que si on se dirige vers une deuxième vague, un deuxième confinement, nous avons un certain contrôle là-dessus si on travaille en équipe et qu'on fait attention, parce qu'un deuxième confinement serait dramatique autant psychologiquement qu'au niveau des faillites et des commerces. Et également, suite à cette crise, je crois qu'il est le temps de tourner le selfie vers le voisin, de se rapprocher de l'essentiel. Et n'oubliez pas les 3 mots. Il n'y a pas d'excuses par les temps qui courent. Appelez un ami et demandez comment ça va. Ici Stevie Ray, merci d'avoir été des nôtres. À la semaine prochaine.